After you discuss your pain points with your banker in your banking relationship, ask the banker, how would you structure a relationship if that's what I need? Loan structures destroyed so many companies, and it's not really that the company performed poorly. It's that the whole loan was structured wrong. I'll give you some examples, and there's definitely some seasonal companies. The most seasonal one I ever worked with was a fireworks company in Kansas City, and it was a big fireworks company, and they're just a wee bit seasonal. You get about 90% of your revenue in for the 4th of July, and about 10% for New Year's. And they had issues with their bank for a long time, and we figured out, okay, here's how we structured the cash flow. Here's how we're going to structure the repayment, because this is when your money comes in. Who will I be working with on your team? You should have a primary contact, but then you should also have a few other touches. Like if you bank with me, I'm not always sitting at my desk or sitting by my phone. I am most of the time, but to have somebody on the depositor loan side and know who that is. Another thing that I just doesn't get covered very often is, what are my ongoing requirements to have a lending relationship with your bank? Once I set up a line of credit, what's it look like? What do I have to give you? Well, annually, I still want to see your personal statement, your tax returns, your company statements, tax returns. If it's a line of credit, I'm probably asking periodically for your accounts receivable, accounts payable, aging. If you're a contractor, I'm looking for some work in progress reports, some budgets, maybe. Just what's it look like? What should I be ready for? Once I sign the doc, I know it's probably all in there, but just sit down and tell me. So it's not a surprise. They're like, 6 months in, you call me and say, hey, Chelsea, where's your accounts payable? And it's like, I didn't even know I owed it to you. Well, you signed it. It was in the form. It's like, well, you never told me. So even if it was something we covered, I think just really being aware of what that looks like. Another one of the big ones for me is, how long have you been with the bank? And really, I would do my research ahead of time before you interviewed your bankers. I go on LinkedIn. If your banker's been at 10 banks in the last 15 years, it's probably time to look somewhere else, because you're never going to build that long-term relationship. And there are times where you need to move. I've worked at 4 banks in my career, so obviously I thought it was worth moving. I've spent the last 25 years plus at 2 places, so I'm not a big job hopper. But there are times where it makes sense to move. A bank might sell, or we aren't philosophically on the same page anymore. But I do think finding a banker that has some tenure and stayed in a particular position is a big plus. And then asking them, why is my bank? Why is your bank good for my business? Why is it a good fit? Is it long-term employees, knowledge of the industry, competitive rates, better products, services? What is it? What's it look like? And then really, do you have experience dealing with my industry? We always try to loop in. We aren't stepping over everyone trying to grab a deal to get the sale. It's really finding who on the team has the most experience with lending to a nonprofit, with lending to a contractor, with lending to a builder. Who's the best at that? And then, do you have any references I can speak to? I have quite a few that I get from. I get asked that a lot more now, probably because people know I'm willing to give it. I usually say, give me 48 hours, because I don't have a pat list of here's who's going to give you a reference. I try to curate it based on a company that is in your industry or like you, or going through an issue like you. And then I contact our client and say, hey, do you mind giving this reference? 99% of the time it's no, but I want to make sure that they're okay with that. But I think that's a fair thing to ask. A couple others I didn't have on there. What's your legal lending limit? Just to tell you what Gateways is, our legal lending limit's quite a bit higher than where we set our internal limit. But for us, we go up to $2,825,000 in-house. We have loans. We've made loans in the 6 to 7 million range, but we'll bring in a partner bank that'll go with us on that. You'll never deal with them, but that's how that works. And that way, like, hey, if my company needs to borrow 20 million right now, is Gateway the right fit? Probably not. So, different size banks are the right fit. And like I said, what's the loan process look like is also a good question. When I'm first applying, it's like, hey, James, if I give you my package, what's it look like? How long does it take you to underwrite it? When does it go to loan committee? When am I going to get an answer? And then if the answer is yes, about how long after that does it take to close the loan and make this all happen. They ought to be willing to share all of that with you.